Alrighty, well, we are in Shimakaze in a Tier 8, 9, 10 random battle. And we're on Tears of the Desert. Some people call that Tears of the Cruisers. However, we have 4 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and 5 battleships on each team. The other team has an Edinburgh, which is apparently the only possible radar on the other team. Looks like I am up against a Tromp. Tromp is a Dutch destroyer that has those parachute bombs. They can launch out a whole bunch of airplanes that drop these floaty bombs on you, and they light a lot of fires, but they've got to hit you to do any damage, and hopefully he doesn't get to see me where he can drop those on me. They have a Kagero that has almost the same spotting that I do, so we will see what we find there. I have an Uloy Russian destroyer behind me, and then back behind him is a Cleveland. I hope that guy in the Cleveland knows how to play him, because he's going to be dealing with some heavy shots from the Tier 10 battleships, especially the Vermont. Vermont can wipe out a Cleveland with one broadside. Oh, somebody's in here with me. Okay, well. Alright, telling the team where my RPF is pointed. Getting my torps ready. I'm going to torp in front of the RPF, directly at the RPF, and then kind of back behind the RPF. Sometimes you get lucky, but there's a high likelihood that DD is just sitting still. Speaking of that, okay, he sees me. Oop, he's torping right toward where he thinks I am. So, hitting my speed boost, getting clear of the torps, because he has the same torpedoes I do, and they'll do a lot of damage to me. Oh! And my torps went right to where he was going. Poor guy. He never would have taken that if I had torped after he was seen, but the fact is, I had preemptively torped and he ran right into them. Got a little lucky, but it was planned luck. Alright, well, I took a little damage from that, but wasn't going to do me any good to waste my smoke in there, and I just needed to get clear. Oh, okay. Our other Shimakaze just killed the enemy Shimakaze. Let's look good for us. I just told the other guy, well, those were RPF's torps. Sorry. Trying to make him feel a little better about taking that torp, but it happens. I've had it happen to me too. It's one of the reasons why I did it, because I learned from it. Learned what can work. Okay, well, the enemy Fletcher just got our Neptune. Now I am throwing some torps out toward that smoke, and I thought I was going to see an Edinburgh there, and what do I find? A Tromp. So there was a Tromp running around here. Now, he knows he's spotted, so he's going to sprint right out of there. I might catch him with a torp if he were to stop, but I think he's already used his smoke, so I think he's probably running. Then I'm torping the gap. Maybe I'll catch that battleship Maybe I'll catch the Trump if he comes right around that island. We'll see. I'm trying to stay out away from my other ships. I don't want my other ships behind me. I don't want the torps going toward them and going through me to get to them. And I'm pretty sure that Edinburgh, Vermont got our Valparaiso. Oh, darn. So I'm pretty sure the Edinburgh is a smoke Edinburgh. However, they do get radar or smoke, and he may have been stealing somebody else's smoke, but he hasn't used his radar yet if he has it. So I'm pretty sure he's a smoker. Okay, I did get a torp into somebody. That Navarran. Now, doggone it. Now we've lost our Amagi. And our Cleveland. And guess who got him? The Vermont, of course. Alright, so we went from being in a driver's seat here to losing 4 ships in a row, and they've only lost 3, but they have lost 3 DVs. We've only lost a couple of cruisers and a couple of battleships. So there's hope for this battle yet. Alright. Targeting both the Tirpitz and the Vermont here, depending on how Vermont turns. Vermont is the most dangerous, of course, being a tier 10. Keeping an eye there on the cruiser. That one gets 8K torps. He's a little over 8K away from me, but I'm going to have to leave the cap. Okay, good. 2 torps hit. 1 caused flooding. He's letting it run a little bit, and my 3rd set will tag him. I think. Yeah, it looks good. Oh, is it going to miss? Nope, it's going to get him. Okay, and it caused flooding. Alright, I don't think he can stop the flooding because he stopped the previous one.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Okay, now that Vyazma is coming around here. Vyazma, one of the experimental cruisers. Oh, good. Okay. The other Shimmy got the rest of that Tirpitz. What I didn't get, he got. Oh, and the Izumo is down. So we're still down 1 ship, though. We died somewhere else. I didn't quite get that. All right. Well, let's get some torps out there on that Vyazma. I'm torping where I think he might be going in the gap, and I'm torping ahead of where he is in case he turns in toward me. He needs to take 2 at least. The experimental ships are always on half health. It improves their reload speed and all that because it gives them adrenaline rush. And I'm going to hit him. Oh yeah, there we go. That was 3 torpedoes right there. I bet he wished he had all of that health back. Maybe if he just pumped it up to full health, he might have been able to get away with taking 2 of those anyway. I don't know if any cruiser can take 3. Maybe the really big tier 10s. I'm taking over 20,000 K, or 20,000 per torpedo. All right, torping toward Vermont, but also kind of toward the Trump. And keep an eye on that Andalucci. Okay. All right. Got the trump. Well, that's why you don't really like to be in between possible torpedoes and your own ships, especially a battleship, because they are torpedo magnets. I keep an eye out for where my team is, so I'm not between them and potential torps myself. And he knew pretty much where the Vyazma took those torps from. Nobody over here has RPF. I'm not showing that I'm located by anything, but they're all showing. Whoever's closest to me is showing that they are located because my RPF is on them. Right now it is on the Andalucia. I would like to get around this island, but then again, I am keeping the Andalucia and the Vermont lit up. Vermont, for a battleship, has absolutely incredible concealment. Even better than some of my cruisers. And so being this close helps my team to see him. Oh, good. I got a torpedo into him, caused the flood. He healed it right away. And we got the Conqueror. So that's given me a Confederate. You get a Confederate for doing a certain amount of damage to a percentage of the enemy team. One of the heroic achievements. And Shimakaze can do that. Alright, well, not sure which. Oh, darn it. Well, lost our FDG. And it was that Andalucia that did it. Now, where is he going next? Well, darn it. Okay. I am trying to get torps both on Navarre and on Vermont. Uh-oh. Now I've gotten too close. Andalucia got too close to me. Smoking up. But now, see, he turned in on me and I didn't realize that he was going to do that. I was too focused on the battleships. Yeah, he can see me. Just for a second. Alright. That'd be nice if Vermont would miss there. He did not. That took a big chunk. Alright, well. All I can do is run. Other Shimakaze got that Navaran, so hopefully I can get something into that Vermont. Take some steam out of him. Oh, he turned all the way around in a circle. So, no. He's not going to take any of my torps. Now, that Andalucia is going to come right through my smoke, and he gets moving pretty quick. I think he's moving a little quicker than I am. Yeah, darn it. I am spotted. I don't think I can get away. Ooh. Okay, well. I need to get dark, but I don't think I can. Okay, I am almost dark. I probably should not have turned there. Alright, I'm dark, but oh, he's shooting where he thinks I'm going. Oh, doggone. Well, shoot. Okay, so that leaves our other Shimakaze all alone with battleship and a cruiser. However, the other Shimmy is capping B and in good position to go cap Charlie. So even if Vermont comes into Bravo, He's got to be careful because he's going to take the other Shimmy's torps if he's not careful about it. Vermont's rather slow, very capable of turning and speed juking torps and such, but not particularly fast. So he's not going to be able to get from Bravo to Charlie and deal with our Shimakaze. The only one that really can is going to be that Andalucia. And from the looks of where he was going last time he was seen, he's going to Alpha. Alright, we have 5 minutes left to play. My team is well ahead. We're at 722. Other team is 490. So the other Shimmy did get Bravo. Now he's headed for Charlie. Vermont right away is recapping Bravo, but Andalucia has not made it into Alpha. Not sure where he is. He was fast enough when he caught up with me. I bled off some speed though when I was trying to dodge shells, thinking I needed to, I guess, and couldn't quite do it. Alright, well, we're just going to sit here and watch. I'm watching on the mini-map. I could watch our Shimakaze cap, I guess. We're just hanging out with nothing to look at. Yeah, looks like Andalucia did come into Bravo, did not go to Alpha. I think they made a mistake. They could have slowed down our points if they had taken Alpha. Vermont is going to have a very hard time negotiating those islands, though. Those are a tight turn in there. Okay. So, according to the score timer that I was watching earlier, that's about even with the game timer. So, we're running about 2.5 minutes to win. And since they chose not to go to Alpha, I think we're going to do it. If they'd gone to Alpha and Vermont came to Charlie, and they had already taken Bravo, they would have stopped our points, but the game timer was going to run out anyway. So they have no choice. They got to try to find this invisible sprite called the Shimakaze. They found me because I let myself get found, I guess. I goofed up a little bit. The other Shimakaze is a little smarter than I was. It wouldn't take much to put him down, though. One lucky hit. Okay, he can see the Vermont now. I'm telling him we win in 1 minute 35 seconds. In other words, don't do anything dumb. Like try to reset the cap because he doesn't need to. Just win by points. Okay. Riding along with him. Armored Casket from the Orion clan. Don't know them. Don't know him. Alright, he's throwing out torps. I actually was just typing in, don't torp, don't give him a direction to blind fire in. I've seen that kind of thing happen. They just throw out shells in the general direction where you torp from, and they can tag you. And that only takes one bad one, and all of a sudden we lose the game. but I think we have it won. Under 30 seconds now. Okay, they finally got into Alpha. I think Andalucia misplayed that one. Okay. And victory. Awesome. GG. Well, yeah. That was a really good battle. Ended up with over 162,000 in damage. That is one of my higher damage totals in a random battle on the live server. I've done a lot of times on the public test. But yeah, that's all right. Got a first grade efficiency badge. You can imagine what people are doing to get the full battle E, but first grade is quite good. That says that I am beating out over 95% of the rest of the player base that plays Shimakaze. So, good deal. She did well. Picked up a Confederate, had 2 dev strikes, and got a first blood. All of those helped to get my team on the winning column. 11 torpedoes hit home, 7 of them caused flooding, got those 3 kills, got the 1 capture, and had 5 spotted ribbons. But the main thing I was doing was just spotting. And ended up barely on top of the leaderboard by 2,424 base XP. The other Shimakaze, the one that actually ended up carrying the end of the game for us, came in second and definitely deserves a compliment. I had almost 500,000 in potential damage, but I had over 100,000 in spotting damage. So that caused quite a bit of damage to the Navaran, the Andalucia, the Tirpitz, the Edinburgh, and of course the Vermont. So that is how Shimakaze really helps her team. I like that they give us which ships my team did damage to. That's a new thing. I haven't noticed that before. Alright, well, I brought in 750,000 credits and 3,360 in free XP, 16,600 in Elite Commander XP to help all of my captains. And my captain is Yamamoto Isoroku. He is the top captain available for the IGN ships. And I have Shimakaze set up with Grease the Gears because she has almighty slow moving turrets. For a destroyer especially, she can't gunfight. She just has to run. And if that doesn't work, then she's in big trouble. Liquidator, which improves my chances of causing flooding when I hit it with a torp, and Consumable Specialist to help bring back my speed boost and my smoke more quickly. Neither of which did I end up having to really spend a lot of time using, but they were available if I needed them. Swift Fish, which gets those torps moving that much faster, which for 12-kilometer torps, they're of medium speed. Those torpedoes are traveling at 74 knots. The shorter range, the 8K torps, I believe, travel at over 80K, but buffing that up definitely helps me out. Then I have Last Stand so that if I get doinked, then I have something to help me clunk along until I can get under cover. And survivability expert to give me some extra HP. I get 3,500 more XP or HP to carry me through to the end of a fight. Didn't quite make it this time, but a lot of times that little extra does help. Radio locate came in very handy for me to throw some torps out in the right direction to hit something. And concealment expert to get my concealment down to the Shimakaze famously low 5.6 kilometers. Now there are a few other ships out there, some of the submarines and a couple of the other torpedo ships that are at 5.4 now. But Shimakaze is still queen of the oceans with that great concealment and her awesome torpedoes and her quickness. All right, so she has the two barrels, one turret with two barrels up front, then two turrets with two barrels each back aft, which is all fine and dandy, but her main claim to fame is right here in the middle of the ship. Amidships, we have these three 5 torpedo launcher that Shimakaze, which was a real ship, is famous for. And so those quintuplet torpedo launchers are just able to deal massive damage. Each of those torpedoes is able to put out 23,767 maximum damage, which is enough to take down a lot of the destroyers. And a medium health cruiser, low health battleship, one torpedo will do it. I'm trying to hit them with multiples, of course, and I was pretty lucky being able to do that today. I have her fully set up now. So I run main armaments mod 1 so that I can at least have guns when I need them, but it also helps keep my torpedo tubes from getting knocked out. Then I have damage control systems mod 1 to help cut down on the risk of catching fire when I do come under fire, because the only other option is really to have engine room protection or improve my engine boost, but I choose not to do that. I probably could improve her engine boost, but that's not the way I'm really built. Then I have torpedo tubes mod 1. She's a full torpedo build, and so I want to improve my torpedo speed and my traverse speed for my torpedoes. Also cuts down on the risk of those becoming incapacitated. I do run propulsion mod 1, which there have been some times when I get in amongst tight islands that I would like to have the steering gears instead, but that propulsion mod 1 helps me dodge torpedoes that are coming at me, and that came in handy. Concealment systems mod 1 combined with captain skills gets that concealment down to that 5.6, and then the torpedo tubes mod 2 gives me faster reload. It does increase the risk that my torpedo tubes will become incapacitated by taking a hit. However, when you combine that with the torpedo tubes mod 1 that cuts down on my risk of torpedo tubes becoming incapacitated, then those kind of mitigate each other. I like to run my Charlie kilos on most of my ships, especially on the destroyers like Shimakaze. I run India Yankee because if I do take a hit and catch on fire, sometimes I'll put that out and then they'll hit me with another one and then I'll be lit on fire again. This will help put it out quicker. Then I run Victor Lima so that I improve my chance of both causing flooding but also starting a fire with the right kind of a hit. And then I double up on the chance of causing flooding with the Juliet Whiskey Una 1s. I run Sierra Mike so that I am faster, and November Foxtrots so that I get my consumables back more quickly. So my speed boost and my smokes reload a little bit more quickly. And then last is the X-Ray Papa Una 1. It gives me a longer smoke action time. So when I'm Spreading out my smoke, it spreads out a little bit further and can help out cruisers around me as well as me. All right, so that is Shimakaze and her captain Yamamoto Yusoroku. We are visiting London. It just so happens that I'm off to London here in a few weeks, so I thought I'd visit her port. The London Bridge, famous London Bridge there in the background there. But oh right, well that is a good battle in Shimakaze. I really like driving her around. I haven't driven her as much lately as I'd like to. I've been so focused on the dockyard missions, and then I was working on the Just Another Math Teacher account on Bismarck and driving her. I had a real good battle in Bismarck and almost made a video out of that. And then this one came along, and well, only have so much time in an evening, so Shimakaze got the call. All right, so have a great evening, and I hope to see you in battle.